In this video, I am going to show you guys how the CSS property position works to position HTML elements on a web page. Alright, so let's get going. Okay, so I have open brackets, and I have a web page, and I have a CSS page, and they're linked, and this is what it looks like in a preview window. So first, the HTML. So here we have, it's pretty simple. Here's the body. I have 4 divs. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And each of them has a number inside. 1, 2, 3, 4. The only thing that's different is this div has an ID. That's the only thing that's different. Anyway, that's the HTML. Here they are over here. These are the 4 divs. Right now, nothing's different. They all look the same. And then in the CSS, what I have is I give the body a height of 2000. And the reason I do that is because I want to be able to scroll. So I make the body at least 2000 pixels tall. And I need to scroll to show you some things, so that's why I'm doing that. And then down here we have, I styled the div with all these, background colors and borders and stuff like that, just to get them to look nice and pretty for you guys. And then I have this comment. So this comment is describing what position is. So this is the property we're gonna talk about, and these are its possible values. You have static, relative, absolute, and fixed. All right. So we're gonna do each of them one by one. First, static, because that's like the easiest one. Static is the default behavior, and they call it normal flow. So without me doing anything, it's already static, because that's the default thing. And what static is, it's just everything starts at the top, and it's one after the other down the page. Just like that. So these divs are one after each other down the page. That's the normal flow, that's the default way it's set to be positioned, and that's static. So I could come down here to all the divs, and I could do position static, and nothing would change because it's already static by default. Alright, so I get rid of that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the other 3 by affecting number 2 here. So number 2 has an ID called move me. So I'm going to come down here, and I am going to select that one div, hashtag move me, and I'm going to use position. And the first one I'm going to do is relative. All right, so position relative. Once you're using position relative, you have to move it using the offset properties. So like left, right, top, and bottom. So to show you how relative works, I'm going to do, I'll do bottom, I guess. Or I'll do top. Top, 100 pixels. So you see 2 goes down 100 pixels from where it normally would be. And I'll do left, 100 pixels. And now it goes over from where it normally would be. So this 2 would normally be in this big gap. It's down a little bit and over a little bit. So it's down and over relative to where it usually would be in normal flow. Okay? That's the definition. Relative to where it really is, would normally be in normal flow. Alright, so that's relative position. And let's say we change this to absolute. Okay, so once you change it to absolute, the big gap where it normally would be is gone. So it's taken out of normal flow. And it is now 100 pixels down from... So it's positioned relative to the browser window. That means it's 100 pixels down from the top. So 100 pixels down from the top of the browser window, and 100 pixels over from the left of the side of the browser window. Okay? And so if I change this if I change this to right instead, is now 100 pixels from the right hand side. Let's see. So this gap, that's how far over it is from the right hand side. 100 pixels down, 100 pixels over. If I scroll, it scrolls. It's just when it page first renders, that's where it's at. Alright. And then the last position I want to go over is fixed. So fixed is exactly the same as absolute except for one detail. It is positioned the same, 100 pixels down, 100 pixels over. But if you scroll, it doesn't scroll with it. It's stuck. It never moves. It's fixed in place. So you got static, which is the default, which you don't even have to touch. Relative, that's if you want to move something relative to where it normally would be. And absolute, relative to the browser window. Fixed, relative to the browser window, and it doesn't move if you scroll. Alright, so that's the position property.